Oh, and welcome. My name is Marc Blatstein, the physician founder of Physician Presentence Report Service. I'm a physician prison consultant. Today, I'm going to review. This is a great. It was a YouTube. It was video put out by attorney Doug Passion. And while I'm not going to show you all the entire video here, you can go to my website and open it up. But it is really informative, and I'm going to do my best to kind of outline it for you. These are proposed sentencing tables that are going to change what's been used for a very long period of time. And so, without further ado, this is a better look at the table. And we're all familiar with Zone A at the very beginning. Zone B has changed. And I'll go through that with you. Zone C, and then finally Zone D. But they go with increased severity depending on your first offense level and then criminal history score. The passion set for sentencing, and this is episode 130, what's cracking at the Sentencing Commission. And that video I just showed you is the video that I'm discussing right now. I'm going to go through overall. It starts with they cover the Supreme Court just ruled tariffs are a tax. And in their opinion, is that the case was really not about taxes. It was more about power from the president and limiting that power because the president has to go to Congress. As much as Congress hasn't really done much of anything this year, they have to go ahead and approve any new taxes that we have to pay. And the reason historically starts out that's why the Boston Tea Party, led by the Sons of Liberty under Sam Adams, dumped all of that tea into Boston Harbor because it was against the King of England. This act again was act against taxation without representation. Now we'll get into my overview of the video regarding the changing, or at least the proposed changes in the guidelines. So in the beginning, about 40 years ago, the guidelines, about 75% of nonviolent offenders receive probation. Since the guidelines, 90% go to prison. When Congress created the Sentencing Reform Act of 1986, the first time nonviolent individuals sentenced to either probation or a diversion type of sentence. When prison was needed to ensure that they had to ensure that the Federal Bureau of Prisons had enough bed space. Then in 2023, nonviolent first-time offenders were able to get a 0-point offender adjustment, which was removing 2 points off of their criminal history. I'm going to get into the zones, proposed amendments on the sentencing table. And history has shown us that the judges usually follow the guidelines and the zones. Getting them to change to this new method really is going to be a skill that the attorneys and your counsel, your own personal defense team, will have to, share with the court as these changes come to fruition. So I'm going to start with questions and answers that Attorney Passions had at the very beginning or at the end, but I'm posing them here. Is that what were the odds of this passing? And pretty much they feel in some form they will pass. Will this be retroactive? Probably not. But depending on your specific case, there may be a compassionate release option. Will judges elect to follow the new guidelines? And it's going to depend on how persuasive your attorney is on getting these accepted. So we're going to start with the zones. And Zone A, and I'm going to jump now between two screens. This is Zone A, goes from offense level 1 to offense level 8. This was to be used only for probation, but this never happens. I mean, almost nobody just gets probation. And so getting the courts and the judges to begin to change how they think of these zone levels could be a heavy lift. Options could have been fines, home confinement, community confinement, intermittent confinement, where you spend just weekends at the local jail, or you have split sentences. And so even today, under the old way that we're currently using the sentencing guidelines, everyone goes to prison for the most part, and it's unfortunate. New Zone B, this is probably the biggest change. Initially, it's actually moved from an offense level of 9 all the way down to an offense level of 23. And this is all in this brown section. So that covers a lot. But the presumption here again would be probation. And so the sentencing guidelines, or the sentencing, as a sentencing commission, estimates that there 6,500 individuals or defendants were sentenced under this, if they were sentenced under this chart in 2024, they would have now been in Zone B. Minimum security facilities, or these minimum security camps, make up the bulk of the Bureau of Prisons, or approximately there's 181 facilities. Of that, 67 are minimum camps, nine are at or over 100% capacity, and an additional two are set to close this year. But the savings, it would be about 170 million just for economic offenders rather, if we once this new Zone B takes effect. It costs 43,000 a year to house an inmate, but for someone who is to be monitored on either home confinement, community confinement, a combination of the above, it's only cost several dollars a day. So we all know that the Bureau of Prisons has no money. This is one way to address that. Zone C got a little shorter. This is in green here, and it's offense level 24 to 29. And here's where there could be split sentences. Some time in prison, the other half either at home confinement or a residential reentry center or halfway house. Now, I have to say that right now, almost everyone currently, if they are getting into a Zone A or Zone B, potentially Zone C, but mostly Zone A or Zone B, they are getting prison time and then halfway house time. Here with the new zone level, they'd like it to begin to start incarcerating individuals at this particular level. Zone D is the offense level of 30 or more. We come down here and it starts at 30. Eventually it goes up, and these are all in white. Zone C is in blue, and then Zone B is in this kind of grayish, not gray, but rust color area. Zone D is for those that will have to spend the majority of their whole sentence in prison, but that's not always the case because people have been known. There are those that have been able to, with the First Step Act, literally improve their chances in getting an earlier release. I hope you found this helpful. This I will open up for you right here, and this goes into this is the actual YouTube, and you can see that on the website. I hope you found this helpful. The new sentencing table, we are hoping that this becomes reality. And if it does, it's pretty much a game changer for everyone, but specifically those who are nonviolent offenders. I thank you for taking the time to listen. Hope you all have a great day.